Boom, crash, crackle, pop. These are either the noises of my car falling over a 10-foot ditch and destroying it, or the noise of your morning Rice Krispies. To find out, you'll have to stick around for the rest of the video. Now, I could make this video last 2 minutes and it would probably be just as enjoyable, but it wouldn't be. It wouldn't be. I don't know why I said that, because that's an absolute lie. To make this video make sense, I need to go back to 3 days prior to the crash. The date of the crash was October. I'm literally getting chills because I'm getting so into this. The date of the crash was October 31st. Halloween 2016. That rhymed. Was it 2016? It was 2016. Okay. My birthday is in July 15th, so it's coming up. By the way, on my birthday I decided to get driving lessons. I turned 17. That's a very common present for a 17-year-old. And within 3 months I had passed my test, and I passed it on October 28th. 3 days prior to the crash. Yes, that's right, I crashed 3 days after I passed my test. On the morning of the test, I woke up, my test was at 9 o'clock, I woke up at 6:30. This is all very traumatic to begin with. Went for an hour driving lesson before, in the dark, which I'd never done before because it was the middle of summer. Done my hour lesson, then I went for the test. When I got into the car, the man was very pleasant. We started doing the test and he gradually became quite angry and rude and scary, and it made me feel uncomfortable. However, all that being said, I passed my driving test and everything went swell. The next 2.5 days were pleasure. It was fantastic. The first day I passed, I went and picked up my friend at school. Now this was a very traumatic day in itself because I did not know how to use my clutch. Okay, the only car I'd ever used before was the driving instructors. So whenever I started using my clutch, it didn't agree with me. When I was at the traffic lights, everything was perfect. 2 cars in front of me. Drove up to the lights, stalled. Went to go again, stalled. The lights turned red, I sat there. The lights turned green, I went to go and I stalled. I went to go again and I stalled. I went to go again and I stalled. I'm so embarrassed even telling this bit. The lights turned green, I went to go again and I stalled. I then turned on the car and drove off just as the lights were turning red. I was the only person who got through. This is just giving you some insight as to what happened, how I'm feeling and why I am traumatized. It was 4 years ago, I'm fine. On the day of the crash, October 31st. In between those days, I had never driven so much in my life before. I took every opportunity to drive I could. Mum's like, Reece, we're out of pasta. Mum?
I'll go to the shop.
Reece, we're out of soap. Mum? Dad?
I'll go to the shop.
Anything at all, I was going to the shop because I was excited. I was excited to pass my test. On October 30th, the night before the crash, I stayed over at my friend Benji's house. We stayed up late, watched the movie, had fun, and it was
very fun.
The next morning I woke up, then I was meeting up with my friend. Whenever I met up my friend, she was like, Reece, let's go get my friend. I was like, okay. The next few hours are when the fateful moments happened, and we set off. We went on a journey and I had so much fun. We got lost along the way and we were going over bumpy roads. I had never been to the area in which I was picking up her friend. That was fine. Or so I thought. I obviously wouldn't be making the video if this was fine. We arrived at the destination and picked up the friend. We drove down the road. Not even a mile away. Not even 500 meters away. It might have been about 100 meters away from the house of the man we just picked up. I was coming round a bend. As I've said before, keep in mind, I've never been on these roads before. Coming down a bend. Straight road, bend. I had not encountered such a bend before because all the roads I'd been on were straight. Now, to say that I've never encountered a bend before is an outright lie. I'm just trying to make myself feel better about the fact that I crashed my car. And I didn't realise how much a bend it was. Now, coming down, I turned my car a little bit. Realising that it wasn't enough and that I was going to hit the curb, I turned my car a bit more. This was my first mistake. I turned too much and the back of my car wheel hit the curb. If you've been driving for a while, I'm sure that you could have fixed it, corrected the mistake, counteracted it with your skills on the wheel. I did not know how to do this. My car bounced, hit the side of the curb, and bounced the whole way over to the other side of the curb. What does everyone tell you whenever you're skidding?
Steer into the skid.
However, as this was my 3rd day passing my driving test, this did not occur to me. And in a moment of fear, hitting the other side of the road with oncoming traffic looking at you, I did not think, okay, let's steer into it. You don't think that. That's not how it works. Bounced off that side of the curb, and what followed next is a blur to me, to be honest with you. I really didn't know what had happened, and it came back to me in bits and from what the people in my car had told me. What we'd done, we hit that side of the curb and bounced back over. The side that we were heading towards, there was a hedge, and what was unbeknown to me at the time, behind the hedge was a 10-foot drop into a ditch. Now, if you don't know what size a 10-foot drop is, most average males are 5'8". Ish, that's what I am. I don't know if that's average. Double that. That's roughly 11 foot, and that's roughly the height of the ditch. This is where it gets terrifying. We drove into the hedge. We flipped. The hedge was here. My car was here. We drove in and we tipped. Originally, we were coming this way. This is the road and we are driving along here. We bounce over there and bounce back and go over the ditch, okay? And we started to roll. We rolled from this picture to where I was standing where I took the picture. There's part of the bonnet and then the car is behind the picture because you can't see it. We were going this direction. My car ends up facing this direction way down there. My friend was like, we need to get out of the car. And I was like, okay. Opened up the wee cabinet where I keep my phone, took it out, and my phone was going crazy. I tried to ring my mum and it wouldn't work. This is the only time my phone has ever done this. I don't know what happened. Maybe it's because it was banging around in the wee cabinet. All it was doing was taking screenshots of the screen. If I have it, I'll put it up here. This is what it was taking, screenshots, and nothing would work. And then my mum was at a Halloween fun party thing in Castlewellan Park and she was having a great day. I was able to call my mum and I was like, Mum, I've crashed my car. Good one, Reece. No, Mum, I've crashed my car. Call Dad, I don't want to hear about it, call Dad. To this day, I'm still a bit salty about it because she just hung up on me. I can understand where she's coming from. She was very stressed and didn't know what to do with it because she wasn't going to be able to do anything. So she was like, call Dad, Reece, I can't deal with this. And hung up the phone. I called my dad, I was like, Dad, I've crashed my car. And he was like, what? I've crashed my car. Where are you? I don't know. What? Why do you mean you don't know? I was picking up my friend's friend and we crashed my car. Randomly enough, my dad happened to be 5 minutes away and he showed up. Handy enough, if you ask me. I'm not gonna lie to you, it was handy enough. He arrived, the car got sorted out, it got taken to the dump, obviously because it was completely scrapped. I'll insert photos now. And we went home. I was obviously stressed and not having a great time. However, I didn't tell anybody about this. I wanted to keep this a secret because obviously it's not the most enjoyable thing telling all your friends that you've crashed your car 3 days after you've passed and were driving around having fun, meeting up with people because you could, to then go to 3 days later not having a car and having to ask your mum and dad for lifts everywhere again. Wasn't great. I didn't want to have the awkward conversation of, what happened to your car? Haha, you crashed your car. And I didn't want to tell anybody. So previous to this, I'd discussed with my friends to have a Halloween party on the 31st. I decided that it would be a great idea for me to hold it. Now this is where it gets even more interesting. I wanted to keep this a secret very, very badly. A lot of things were going through my head. So I begged my mum and dad. I was like, please, can I have the party? Please, I don't want anybody to know. And if I cancel the party, everyone's gonna know. And they were like, Reece, you've literally destroyed your car. You've been very traumatized. You're going to have to cancel your party. I was like, it's 3 hours before everyone's meant to come. I can't cancel. They eventually let me, to my surprise. And realistically, if I had a son who just crashed their car, I probably wouldn't have. Honest to goodness, have no idea how I convinced them to let me have the party. Realistically, I probably shouldn't have went on, but my mum and dad are far too kind and let me do it. The guests started to arrive and the first people arrived and they were like, Reece, where's your car? And I was like, is it not out there? Yeah, it just got a wee bang and it's in the garage, it's getting fixed. And they're like, alright, okay. Obviously some discussion had went on at this party. They found out. Everyone found out. They all knew that I crashed my car and I don't know how they found out. And I never really found out how they found out, but they all found out. I started to get jokes. My friends aren't really the type to be like, oh, I hope you're okay. For the next 3 to 5 months, all I experienced, hey Reece, flip off. Hey Reece, you crashed your car. That's not a joke, but they would just say it to me. Some were more creative than others. Some weren't. This was a very traumatic experience and it taught me a lot of lessons. Don't crash your car. That was the main lesson that it taught me, and you know what, that was a pretty big one. If you're like me and have crashed your car, got it for you. My family keep walking past and looking in and making weird faces at me and I don't really know how to cope with it. Hope you enjoyed the video. Honestly, I can't say I did. I honestly can't tell you that I enjoyed the video because that would be a lie.